difference between 6 and 7 figure earners? I'm gonna ruffle some feathers here. But I'm gonna tell you, what the number one difference is. The 7 figure earner didn't quit, okay? That's really all it is. They kept going. So what I want you to think about is, I want you to think about we're all on a track. It takes 4 laps to equal a mile, okay? Every lap is $250,000, okay? Every time you complete a lap, it's $250,000. That means a half a lap's $125,000, okay? So let's say you end up around $100,000. So you almost made it to a half a lap and you got tired. You're like, man, I'm burnt out. I can't do anymore. That was you, 6-figure year. Let's say you made it $250,000. Okay, you made a full lap. And then you're like, man, forget this. I think I got 2 laps in me. You make it to $500,000. What's the difference between those 6-figure earners and the person that made it 7 figures? They kept going. They repeated it over and over. See, one of the most boring things about track to me, not cross country, but track, is nothing changes. The freaking scenery is the same. So you're running a mile, you're looking at the same thing for 4 laps. So imagine doing that for 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles. That's when you get into 1.5, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. The thing is, can you do this over and over? Because what happens is it becomes rudimentary. You get bored. And the reason you get bored is because you start focusing. You don't focus on the process. You shift from the process to focusing on my environment, where I am, why is nothing changing. It is changing. It's the fact that, the difference between 1st grade and 12th grade, it's still school, still sitting at the desk, still standing there with the whiteboard and the teacher talking to you from 1st grade to 12th grade. Nothing aesthetically changes really about a classroom, all right? But the subject matter, it becomes more challenging. The same thing happens in entrepreneurship. Lap 3 is more challenging. Lap 4 is more challenging. Lap 5 is more challenging. And instead of us we keep saying, oh, it's so hard. No, you just haven't done the work. You're not cut out for it. Imagine right now, you never running. You haven't ran in forever. Let's just say that. And you're going to go out and just say, I'm going to run 10 miles tomorrow. Do you know that you're going to be in a world of pain and hurt? Why? You are unprepared. So why not follow and say, what's the process to get from 6 figures to 7 figures? Keep working. 6 figures is all about the work you do, man. That's it. 7 figures is more about the work you are no longer doing. So once you get past that 4th lap, if you want to keep going, no, it's not. We're no longer focused on what we're doing. We're focused on what we say no to. I'm not doing that. Because you start getting distracted when you get close to 7 figures. 5, 6, 700,000, you start questioning yourself. Maybe I want to start another business. Oh, I'm doing good over here. Maybe you're going to run 2 races at once. Imagine me competing in a 5K right here. And while that 5K is going, I'm saying, hey, I want to run a race across town. How are you going to do both? You can't. You got to stay right here until you finish the race. Now, if you want to join that race, finish this race faster. What does that mean? Run faster, work harder. So there's work ethic involved in 6 figures. When you hit 7, we're no longer having a conversation about work ethic, okay? I could care less what anyone tells you. Work ethic and being successful are not tied hand in hand. If so, lazy people wouldn't still be getting rich, okay? There's plenty of rich people with a sucky work ethic. Getting rich has nothing, and making money have nothing to do with work ethic, okay? Making 7 figures and making 5 million and 10 million, 12, 15 million has nothing to do with work ethic. I don't make 8 figures just because of my work ethic. I do have a strong work ethic, but that doesn't produce it. And the fact is, you start outworking until the point is what? You're exhausted, you're tired, you're burnt out. Oh man, I'm just tired of work, because you're doing unnecessary work. To get from 6 figures to 7 figures, yeah, it's going to take some work. All it does is what? But it doesn't take some next level mind blowing thing. It just takes you. So you did 10 sales calls and then it produced 100 grand. Okay, so what happens when I do 30 sales calls, 40 sales calls, 50 sales calls? So all I gotta do is free up my calendar, get a little bit more sleep, get a little bit more, rest and energy, and say, okay, I'm gonna open up my calendar and take on more sales calls. If 10 calls equals 100 grand, then what happens when I do 50 calls? Might not quite hit 500, but I'll get 4. So what happens when I do 100 calls? Might get close to $1 million. 800, 900. What happens when I do 150 calls? Boom. How do I do 150 calls over the next 12 months? Put my head down, block my calendar, create these priorities, list out my distractions, and then just do the work necessary to get there. That's it. Like I said, guys, it's simple. Hitting 7 figures is challenging, but it's not hard. We overcomplicate it. If we would just simplify that process. James, you're out here telling everyone it's not hard to make 7 figures. I mean, guys, when I say that, I'm saying if you are going to follow a simple plan. Now, if you're out here trying to do it in the blind, yeah, it's going to be hard for you. If you tell me right now how to drive, hey, how do you get from Charlotte to, California driving without a map? Oh, it's freaking hard. Yeah, because I've never done it before. But the fact of the matter is the missing piece is the map. The missing piece for you to go from 6 figures to 7 figures is going, oh, I'm just going to work harder. Yes, but I got to do the right work. Where's your map? You got to have something to follow. You got to have a guide. You got to have a coach. You got someone to tell you, hey, I've been down this road a million times. This is the way I would do it. All right. This is the way I recommend you do it. So no, I'm not just saying, oh, it's easy peasy. But when you have what you need, it is extremely simple to move from 6 figures to 7 figures. All you need to do at 6 figures is say, listen, what is the work that I need to do this and do it? And then once you get to 7 figures, you say, wait, it's no longer about my work ethic. It's no longer about me doing work, but it's about focus and delegation. And those are the 2 keys to not only hitting 7 figures, but really maintaining 7 figures, not the work ethic.